the result of all this energy is the manifestation of the suns, which are like pollen. So that even the suns also go through a cycle, just as pollen gives rise to the seeds and the reproductive nature of the lotus itself through microspores into active spores that then pollinate the flower. In the same way, the billions of suns that surround the galaxy and in a sense emanate from the galaxy and are a part of the galaxy, there are various ages, and each age produces different kinds of suns, and the history of the galaxy is the history of the suns, and understanding that is the core of modern cosmology. These suns are billions in number, and when we look towards the arms of the galaxy, we see this phenomena with just a simple telescope even, what to speak of the more advanced telescopes by which we can see these structures. So the life of stars is the life of the universe as we know it. So we can see, as the way the world is today, that these clouds of energy that produce life and the cycles of life on this planet are deeply connected. That dust and gas is not dead like materialists believe. It's alive. It brings beauty and structure and life just as we are as human beings. And on the larger structure, where suns are starting to be the core focus, we see the nebula, and the nebula structures creating an environment in the inside of the Brahmanda. So Meru is going to be a topic that we're going to talk about a little. And we see these Meru structures, the cosmic pillars, the cosmic mountains, you would say, that give rise to the interstellar environment. So studying about the suns lets us know about how our sun will live and exist, and how our sun came into being, and how old our sun is, and how much time we have left in our solar system, and the kind of environments that are connected to the natural environment that we have in this world. The lotus itself is a structure, gives the geometry and the patterns that help us have a sense of how our sun is moving within the arms of the galaxy and in movement with other celestial bodies. So the local structure, again, very bubble-shaped, where our sun is at the center of a not a special or unique bubble, but quite an interesting bubble. And at the center of this bubble are cloud structures and environments that mimic the shape of a seed pod and this inner structure of the cone of the lotus. In the Vedas it talks about Bhurbhuva Swa, Mahajana Tapasatya, and these different dimensions of the galaxy. But locally, Bhurbhuva Swa relating to our inner bubble. So our local bubble of stars create this Meru structure. We see our sun and other planets moving around this bubble environment. So it's very much like the natural environment. We have all kinds of names that they use. They use shells, they use rifts, they use quite interesting words to describe our local environment. But the Vedas, they talk about mountains and forests. The solar system is like an island on this larger environment structure. These structures, they're like a fractal embedded inside. The same structure is repeated again and again. But here we're going to start talking about how also the sun is like a lotus, which blossoms forth lotuses. And so these structures are the same, the local interstellar cloud being like a lotus petal or also like a lotus flower, giving meaning to the formation of our solar system. From an energy environment where there is the potential for life, there is the potential for all kinds of interesting structures, and then our solar system. The outer dynamics of the sun are interesting, where the cords are wrapped around the plasma sphere of the sun. And this also looks like a twin lotus. Our sun is very small in comparison to this structure. Our whole solar system is embedded in this system, and we see this twin lotus again from the galaxy structure, now we're seeing it in the sun structure. And it's the movement of our sun through the local environment. The outer side of the structure is massive with huge plasma bubbles. It's called the suryanda, the solar egg, and in the plasma field around it, these giant structures appear. And then we have the Oort cloud, being the water covering. So shells are very much talked about in the Vedic tradition, where the universe, both local and at large, are tucked within these shells. So our local solar system is like an island trapped inside an egg of higher energy structure. Our sun is supporting life in all the planets and protecting them. The electromagnetic field of the sun churning out energy to actually not only feed life and give life to this planet and protect other structures within the solar system. And in its beginning, it also was covered with dust and gas, and finally, blowing that dust and gas away, we have a clear sky by which we can see the sun and the other planets moving through their orbits. And the path the sun has cleared by its electromagnetic nature, it has its inner electromagnetic, which is like the twin lotus as well, the poles. This polarity of energy, the electromagnetic field, the petals of energy emanating from the sun, creating vortices and these petal structures, energizing the solar system. The energy of the solar system for us is important because it gives us light by which we can see each other. It gives us protection from the interstellar environment and even cosmic rays. These rays are of many kinds, both in terms of waves and also particles. So streams of particles are bombarding every atom, every cell of our body, and our body is being connected to the sun. No matter how deep inside the earth you go, the neutrinos and other particles, exotic matter, cosmic particles, cosmic energy, somehow does get through, and the earth is also protected. It has its own environment, which is also in the shape of the lotus. And we'll see, just as we look out into the universe, it's said that we know more about the universe than we know about Earth. So in a sense, the Earth is the last mystery. It is the key to understanding the universe. So the more we learn about the Earth, and the more that we learn about our planets nearby, we learn about the history of the Earth and our place on this planet as well. So the Earth also takes on this lotus structure, the electromagnetic field of the Earth, blossoming this lotus structure that protects it and allows life to be sustained through the environments surrounding the inside of the Earth's atmosphere. So if we were exposed, we'd be, exposed to all kinds of solar radiation, all kinds of cosmic rays. But this electromagnetic field protects us like an umbrella, and these are also considered environments of energy, along which all kinds of exotic energies flow through both the poles and also what are called radio energies. The Vedas would call them mountains, like the golden mountains of Meru or other kinds of mountains mentioned. These energies, they move the earth. They move the earth, and the earth takes forms in the various continents we know of them today, which also is like the blossoming of bud into the full lotus. And the environment from this structure of the electromagnetic field, the lotus structure, the vortices that push the whole atmosphere of the inner earth. And this atmosphere protects us from all kinds of energies, but at the same time, it nurtures life. So the life that we know today has not only given rise to the atmosphere, but also the structure itself has supported the building of that environment from the core of the earth up into the upper atmosphere and beyond, the moon even. So these vortex structures, they allow energy to move along them trapped from the solar system, and they create beautiful plasma displays of the auroras and all kinds of electric and magnetic phenomena of energy. So the lotus is the answer, both from an ancient perspective and also modern. The ancient Aboriginal cultures and all ancient traditions all over the world somehow have a connection to the lotus because of its nature of going all over the earth. And both science and spirituality have a deep connection to the lotus, whether they know it or not. The new mathematics, the mathematics that will be integrating all fields of science, and also the thoughts of spirituality, concepts, models of spirituality, all come down to the lotus. And the way we think about the universe and the way we think about ourselves in the universe, we're so lucky at this time to be on this planet. We are privy to so much, and the world is in the clasp of our hands. So these models of the earth, of the sun, they're ancient in nature, going back to the model of Meru. So even our human body has a Meru, the spine, and in the same way the earth has the mountain ranges of the various continents are like the spines of the continent, and they're called Meru. And Meru can be a model that moves not only across the earth, not only across the solar system, not only across the galaxy, but beyond into higher dimensions of spiritual energy. And Meru has been used by many sacred traditions. It's also the key for understanding how to build structures to understand time and how the sun and moon and other planets move through this time structure, and how the lotus is also an answer for building ways of observing the planets and the stars. And the need of this Meru model is for understanding these larger structures as well. So the Vedas talk about all kinds of islands of space and luminary bodies within this larger structure. Attempts are being made at the moment, both digitally and through the form of chandeliers, a presentation in Mayapur, India, at the center of Gaudiya cosmotheism, the model of the working known and unknown universe. So the spiritual principles of high energy giving rise to the wheels of time that we see in the material world. And also as a sacred way of connecting to one's local energy. One can take these Meru structures and place them in one's meditation, and they upgrade one's sense of energy. And even how we're using these structures in the modern world, we're making Meru structures on the nano scale and giving us connectivity to the mountain of information out there.
Lotus 123.